1. The unceasing cycle and societal pressure from birth to death. From birth, people are swept into a system of rules and societal norms. We are taught to become a person as defined by society's standards, to go to school, work, marry, own a house, earn money, and achieve titles to gain recognition. Over time, these standards become personal goals, shaping our lives and pushing us into a race with no end. Yet, what is this race for? We spend much of our lives competing and comparing ourselves with others, under the illusion that having more, whether it's wealth, power, or fame, will bring us happiness and fulfillment. However, many find that no matter how much they accomplish, a feeling of emptiness remains and new objectives arise. This never-ending cycle creates immense pressure, causing us to lose sight of the true meaning of life. 2. Competition and acquisition in human society. One of the main forces driving human society is competition and acquisition. We are taught that to survive and advance, we must compete and acquire more than others. But why must we have more? Why must we win this meaningless race? Upon reflection, even with all the wealth, fame, or power, people often find themselves unfulfilled. Looking at other animals, we find they rarely engage in competition and acquisition at the level humans do. A bird only needs a simple nest. A lion only hunts to satisfy hunger and protect its offspring. Meanwhile, humans seem to never know when to stop, always wanting more in terms of material possessions and power, often at the cost of health, happiness, and personal relationships. 3. What is the essence of civilization and progress? Humans pride themselves on civilization and the progress they have achieved. Science and technology have given us amazing conveniences, from skyscrapers to instant communication. But does this progress truly make us happier and freer? We take pride in development, but often fail to recognize its cost. Modern humans live in a world where stress, depression, and mental health issues are increasing. We have traded the simplicity and harmony of natural life for the complexity and conflict of a materialistic society. Civilization and progress are, in truth, illusions of humankind, masking fatigue, loneliness, and inner discontent. 4. Are humans truly smarter than other creatures? Humans believe themselves to be the smartest species due to their creativity and technological advancement. But if that intelligence leads to anxiety and endless stress, is it truly worthwhile? Many other animals live simple lives, but in harmony with their surroundings. They are not overly dependent on material things and are not bound by complex social conventions. A bird or a dragonfly has no concept of property, power, or fame, yet they live freely, unburdened by the pressures humans impose upon themselves. Most animals live naturally, without the standards or comparisons that humans constantly engage in. If human intelligence leads to a loss of inner peace, then is it really progress, or just a misunderstanding? 5. Freedom and peace are not illusions. Humans can learn a lot from other creatures about living in harmony with nature. Instead of chasing social conventions and trading life for competition, we can choose a more natural way to live. This doesn't mean abandoning everything and reverting to a primitive lifestyle, but learning to live more intelligently. Instead of pursuing fame and wealth, humans can learn to find true peace and value within, to live with compassion and gratitude, and to focus on presence rather than the burdens of ambition. Living this way doesn't require abandoning all goals or withdrawing from society. Instead, it's about living with an understanding of what truly brings fulfillment. When we can find peace within ourselves, without being weighed down by meaningless social conventions, we can live a life that is both meaningful and liberated from endless comparison. 6. Conclusion: humanity's folly or true intelligence. Perhaps humanity has not reached the level of intelligence that we assume. While humans have the capacity to create and innovate, they often lack the ability to live peacefully and freely. True intelligence isn't just the ability to invent or build, but the ability to live a complete and happy life without being bound by meaningless conventions. Our lives could be less tragic if we knew when to pause, to reevaluate the social conventions that drive us. Instead of living in an endless, fruitless race, we can find what truly matters and appreciate the simplicity and beauty in life. By choosing to focus on genuine values and learning to live in harmony with ourselves and nature, we might discover the true meaning of intelligence and progress. The essence of life. What is our true purpose in this world? What are we living for? We find ourselves in a cycle. We are born, grow up, work, marry, have children, grow old, and then pass away. This familiar path is one that nearly everyone seems to follow. But is this the entirety of life, or just a small part that we often mistake for the whole picture? Behind these daily experiences, could there be a greater purpose that we have yet to discover? A race or a pre-programmed sequence? Modern life often makes people feel as though they are in an endless race. We race for better jobs, bigger houses, and the accumulation of wealth and recognition in society. Many have sacrificed health, youth, and even time with family to achieve these things. But after achieving them, do they truly feel happy and fulfilled? Pause for a moment and consider, is life just a race, or are we merely characters in a simulated world, programmed to chase after goals that will never truly satisfy us? In striving to fulfill society's imposed goals, we forget the critical question, do any of these pursuits truly matter? And are they even necessary? What does life's finite nature remind us of? When faced with the finite nature of life, it becomes clear that everything is temporary and fragile. Those who have experienced major setbacks, loss, or the threat of death often realize that life is both brief and precious. This transience reminds us that perhaps the value of life lies not in what we achieve, but in how we experience and appreciate each moment. But while we understand the fleeting nature of life, how many people dare to step out of their comfort zone to live a life they truly desire? How many people are willing to abandon socially imposed ambitions and dreams to seek the true value of life? Is life about experiencing or about being a slave to time? Are we living in a world where everything is confined by time? Every activity and goal seems attached to the clock. But if we could break free from time's constraints, would we look at life differently? Without clocks or schedules, what would we do? Perhaps we would spend more time listening, feeling, and truly living instead of constantly racing. The confinement of time has turned life into a series of mechanical activities. Is this really how we want to live our lives? The true purpose of human life, has it been misunderstood? For many, the purpose of life is simply to make money, build a family, and achieve social success. But if we all pursued this purpose, life would lack depth. Looking back, those who left the greatest marks on history weren't simply those who sought personal satisfaction, but rather those who found meaning beyond material existence. Perhaps we have confused means with ends. Money, work, and family are means to live better. But are they the ultimate destination? The purpose of life may not be accumulation, but rather experiencing, learning, and growing in every moment. Is life a playground for learning or a pre-programmed system? Many philosophers and spiritual thinkers have proposed the idea that life is a playground, a place for humans to learn and grow. If we view life as a journey of understanding and personal growth, we would feel lighter in the face of challenges and hardships. Pain and failure would no longer be terrifying, but opportunities for growth. On the other hand, some people believe we live in a pre-programmed system, where each person is merely a part of a game set within an endless timeline. If this is true, perhaps the search for life's purpose shouldn't be confined to external achievements, but rather to finding serenity and self-understanding. Popular beliefs and contrarian thinking. Society often imposes the belief that success requires money, a home, status, and that achieving these things will bring happiness. But why do some people attain everything and yet still feel unfulfilled? Perhaps happiness doesn't come from accumulation, but from letting go and acceptance. The question here is, can we fulfill our purpose in life without competing with others? Can life have meaning if we live simply and avoid pursuing the illusions that society creates? Is death an end or a beginning? An often overlooked perspective in modern society is the acceptance of death. Facing death helps us understand that nothing is eternal, and this understanding can be the source of true peace. If we know that everything will eventually pass, we may stop worrying so much about accumulating and holding on to fleeting things. Instead, we will learn to cherish and live fully in each moment. Accepting life's impermanence isn't about giving up, it's about discovering life's true value.